Good evening, everybody. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar. I'm coming with a radical topic tonight in unpopular opinions. Um, I was online and I was seeing the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, the YouTube feed, the state of our community at large. And I just wanted to offer a bit of insight. I wanted to also talk about a story time that recently happened to me. And so the topic tonight is casual sex is not compulsory. First of all, I want to give a big shout out to the customers of the AfricanSuperstar.com. Big shout outs to everybody shopping with us. Also, big shout outs to our members only who support our platform on a monthly basis. And last but not least, everybody who's supporting the music project that have sent in your votes. We only have a few more days left to vote. Fortunately, we're still currently in the lead, but anything can happen. So I appreciate all of you guys that have been sending in your votes and then the receipts. Yes, because people can say that they're voting, but then, yeah. So tonight I'm going to get into this topic because I've come to the conclusion, like I've mentioned on previous vlogs, one can't assume that people have common sense. One can't assume that they have taken a comprehensive look at life. And as I look at the situation in our community, especially the community in the West, it has dawned on me that people don't realize that they should, they really ought to be selective with whom they are having sexual relationships with. It can prevent a lot of problems in the future, as in this whole baby daddy thing, baby mama thing, having children and being connected to people that you don't want to be connected to, all because the screening that happened in the initial stages. So at first I'm going to talk about what happened to me. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Hello. We have 5 of you here. What's up, Samson? Welcome to Tanzania. Hope your trip is going well. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Guys, if you're here, let me hear from you in the chat room before I jump into my topic. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. We got over a couple of y'all in here. Is anybody in there? Let me see a number 1. Hello. Be on code. Be on code. Because I'm about to get into this topic. What's up, family? Are you guys there? Are you alive? Hello. I'm waiting on you. Just need a number 1 to see some community support in here. Okay, we'll take a commercial break while you guys get together. Yes. Hello. Family, what's up? Are you there? What's up, family? Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only African Superstar proudly presents the release of her first EP entitled For Every Action, There Is a Reaction, as well as this music video, which is available. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only African Superstar proudly presents the release of her first EP entitled For Every Action, There Is a Reaction, as well as this music video, which is available here on YouTube for the title track. The track is also available for streaming on all download platforms, and the EP is exclusively available for purchase at bandcamp.com. Please support independent artists, and please support your African Superstar. Until we meet again. All right, guys. Yes, that is obviously my most recent single, For Every Action, There's a Reaction. That's actually a song we've been nominated for currently, the category of Best Emerging Female Vocalist. So yes, guys, is anybody in the chat room? Let me see a number 1 before I start on my topic. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me and whatnot. What's up, family? Waiting on you. So waiting on you guys. We got Samson in there, but I don't know. I just want to make sure because I know there's been some audio problems with the streaming sites lately. So I'm just trying to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Is anybody there or what? Hello? My goodness. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Damn. Can you guys hear me, or should I start the stream over? Because nobody is replying. Can anyone? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me or not? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, I assume you guys cannot hear me. Okay, I'll end the stream then. Queenie, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, thank God. I don't know what was happening there for like 3 minutes. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about this topic, which is casual sex is not compulsory. So over the weekend, I went out with my homegirl, Monica. Big shout outs to Monica. We went out and had a good time on Friday, went out for drinks, went out to party and dance. It was lovely. So at one of the places we were, it's not uncommon now at this point in Ghana that people see me, they recognize me from YouTube or whatever. I've been performing here in Ghana, so on and so forth. So there was a handsome gentleman a couple tables over from us. He kept, making eye contact with me. I was making eye contact with him, whatever. So he comes over to me and he says to me, hi, Gina, how are you? So, again, this is not uncommon. I don't know who he is or whatever. So he comes and he's talking to me and he informs me that he's previously matched me on Tinder, but I unmatched him, before we ever got to the point of meeting or exchanging numbers or anything like that. And this was quite a long time ago, probably over a year ago. So I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. And I recalled who he was when he told me his name and everything. So he said, oh, I'd like to meet up with you tomorrow, take you out, this kind of thing. I said, okay. So we formally exchanged phone numbers and he calls the next day and he says to me, oh, you were looking really good at the club last night. Can you come to my place? And I said, no, you know what I mean? I just met you. Like, I know we may have chatted on the app before, but I don't really know you. So like, if you're interested, then we should go through the normal channels, which I think the normal channels are, at least like a first date, spend some time with each other, maybe in a public setting, where there's not any kind of physical temptations and all of that stuff. You guys just actually having conversation, getting introduced to each other, blah, 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 blah. So he tells me, oh, we're adults. We're not kids, you know what I mean? We can kind of just skip past some of these, the formalities. And I just told him straight up, hey, look, I'm sorry, I don't roll like that. Like, I just don't hop into somebody's bed and get intimate with a stranger and things like that. I give this example because obviously I know in many situations there are people that would maybe take that opportunity. They might take it. I realize that because my friends tell me, Gina, you're quite picky, you have standards and all of that. But I absolutely do because of the fallout. I'm always thinking about the fallout. And when I look at my peers, I see that this hooking up culture and this casual sex culture is really rampant, and it's leading to obviously the fallout, which becomes, single parent family homes, children without access to both of their parents or without involvement of their parents, financial problems, emotional problems. All of these things could be prevented if you begin the vetting process in the beginning. And I know that obviously, especially if you're attracted to a person, you have all the physical attraction, you have the, you know, the desires and all of that stuff, but it boils down to self-control. Because, and especially women, let me holler at you real quick. Men will tell you whatever they want to tell you to get close to you potentially. Okay? They will tell you they're ready to give you the sun, moon, and stars. They want to be with you. You're so fine. They never met a girl like you. You know, all these things they would tell you, lots of invigorating, exciting, romantic things. But you've got to be able to think about the situation in, I'd say, probably a worst case scenario. I definitely could be in a situation with many, many of my peers of being a single mother. You know, even when I was in my marriage and I realized that my husband and I were not on the same page, I made a vow to kind of wait until we had a bit more consensus on some major topics related to parenting before I would bring children into that situation, because you just always have to consider it. And I think that if we were doing more of that, you know, women on our side and men on their side, it's not uncommon that men can have sexual relationships with women they don't like, don't want a future with, would never marry, don't want to have children with. And then when a situation arises with this woman, then all hell breaks loose. But it's like, yeah, okay, you got intimate with her. Okay. Maybe you were using protection, maybe you weren't. Okay. You were taking all the associated risks that come with being intimate with the person. Now the fruit has come from that decision. And now you want to act like you played no part. That's the irony, is like, as people will hone in on single mothers and have all these criticisms of single mothers, where does a single mother come from? You can't produce a child on your own. And if it's a person that you are genuinely not interested in, you know, again, the physical attraction might be there. But if you genuinely are interested in this person, why you are getting physical with them, it's very, very unwise and very, very risky. And that's why I just want to say, I've noticed that recently I'm having a bit of younger viewers. You know, typically on my channel, most of my viewers have been 30 and up, but lately I've been capturing the 18 to 30-year-olds as well. And I want to tell you young folks, you know, casual sex is not compulsory. Don't let anybody pressure you. Don't make anybody feel like, you know, you're being a kid or, you know, your standards are too high, because at the end of the day, if something goes awry during that situation, you know, and we're not even getting into like the emotional connection that you start to form with a person. We're not even getting into, you know, sexually transmitted diseases. We're not getting into, you know, the maybe addiction you develop to that person. You know, maybe the rest of the relationship is chaotic, but you guys have this like very intense sexual chemistry. Now you're involving yourself with someone where, you know, the relationship is toxic or it doesn't have future potential, but you're hooking up with them because you enjoy the sex. Guys, you know, we need to look at our community and start addressing some of these behaviors. And it starts from the decisions that are made at that point. I realized that this person, you know, that I ran into, had I not put up the safeguards and said, nah, I'm really not interested into that, you know, he would have gladly invited me over and definitely tried to make his advances, because when I talked to him the next day, he was quite clear about me coming to his place and what, you know, he had in mind and all of this. And I'm like, yo, I don't even know you, fam. And I'm thinking like, okay, what if we go there and then what happens? What happens in the aftermath of that? And more specifically, he's a businessman. Okay, so he travels very frequently. And that's actually one of the reasons that I unmatched, was because he's never available. So, you know, he shared with me, oh, I'm in town for the holiday weekend. It's a holiday here in Ghana. The, you know, Muslim Ramadan is coming to an end, and the holiday to celebrate is called Eid. So Eid is technically tomorrow. So he's in town for that, but he's taking off next week. And I'm like, so you think you're just gonna run up in here and just like, no. But it was on me. It was on me to look at that situation and say, no, I'm not getting involved in that. You know what I mean? And I also look at my life and think to myself, it's why I don't have a lot of drama. Because I'm very, 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 very cognizant of who I'm engaging with, not just romantically, but also in regards to friends, also in regards to business, also just in regards in general, who I'm actually giving access to me. We are not doing a suffice job of analyzing the folks that we're getting involved in. And I look at what is happening in our communities, and I realize that this is a huge thing. And it's also a great safeguard. I'm telling you, some people are having these. I watch these crime shows. You guys know I watch them. Probably a lot of you guys like true crime too, crime shows, First 48, all this kind of stuff. As I watch these crime shows, I see that, the vast majority of crimes and all of that stuff is always committed by someone in your circle. Okay? Someone in your circle, your friend, your spouse, in some cases, your siblings, someone who has interior knowledge of your life and how your life operates. Okay? In many of these cases, people are jealous. Okay? People are, vindictive. They are, manipulative, and you're having these relationships with these people not knowing that, okay, your best friend is coveting you, coveting your husband, or they're really jealous of your, business success or your financial success. And you're entertaining these kind of people. A lot of this goes down to screening and the red signs, because it's been my experience. People show, you have some very, very calculating individuals that work really hard to kind of mask it. But a lot of these people are slipping up and showing you what they're all about. Yeah, they're letting you know right up front, hey, if you get involved with me, this is what you can expect. This is my track record. This is my outlook. This is what it is. A lot of ladies that have unfortunately become single mothers, if they're honest, they can admit this too. Because the guy they got involved with, they saw the red signs, and or he told them what he was about. Yeah, I don't want to get married. Yeah, I don't want to have any more kids. Now, a woman will look at the activities that is happening with the man and think, oh, I know he said that, but he's still hooking up with me. He's still living with me. We're still having unprotected sex or whatever it might be. And they're thinking, well, maybe I know he said that, but maybe, he doesn't really mean that. Well, when the situation comes up, then you're going to see that he really meant it. Because that's the paradox of a lot of these folks out here. Okay? What they say, what they think, and what they do not align. So he's telling you one thing, he's doing another thing, and he has a different, thought process altogether. And I would just say, if maybe I'm old school, but I would say if you can potentially see yourself being with this person for the long term, or having children, or if you don't have a mature relationship with the person, you don't get along with the person, the relationship is tumultuous or it's full of drama, refrain from getting involved with that person sexually. Or, if you have involved yourself and then you start seeing the way that things are going, get out of the situation. Get out of the situation, because it's going to end in tears. Big shout outs, family. Tonight I'm talking about casual sex is not compulsory. Our society says that it's all good. Our society says, hey, YOLO, do what you want to do. But guess what? Our society is not there to pick up the pieces. You are positioning yourself and maybe your children and maybe your future to become a statistic when you are not selective about these things. And again, like I said, it comes with so much. What's up, Nancy? Big shout outs to the family. everybody who's in the chat room. What's up, Jackie? Shouting on our mission statement, SMP. What's up, Sarah C's in the building. The family, guys, I'm just saying, because as I look at our community, again, you know, I've been coming really hard on everybody this year, but I have to, because it's ridiculous, the situation that we're in. It's ridiculous. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Okay, anybody in the room, we got what, about 20 y'all here? How many of you guys know somebody with baby mama drama, baby daddy drama? Let me see a number 2. Anybody in the room know anyone with some baby mama, baby daddy drama, custody case, whatever drama? All right, let me see. Anybody in the room know somebody? Okay, or a couple of people. Thank you, Sarah C. She's the first. If you know these things, you see them going down. Maybe you're a single person or something like that. Okay, maybe you don't have any children yet or whatever, you're dating, whatever. Start learning from the people around you. Another big problem with our people is they see what's happening to other people and they seem to think, oh, that's not going to happen to me. I know one person that I used to formerly work with back in Columbus, Ohio. This woman was dating this guy, you know, and the guy had, I believe he had about 6 children, okay, with the previous several ladies, okay. She comes along, they start dating. She gets pregnant for him. And I don't know why she thought to herself that, okay, you know, he's going to be responsible. He's going to be in the picture. He wasn't for the other 6 children that he already fathered. But she went ahead and did it anyway. And then was so disappointed when, you know, the man was not involved in her son's life. But this is a critical downfall as well. People say that I'm too, you know, I'm so serious and stuff. But I mean, to me, it makes sense to look at a person's track record. Okay, life happens. None of us are spring chickens, you know. A lot of us 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. So you come with baggage. You know, you have had previous relationships. You may have children from previous relationships and blah, blah, blah. But looking at the track record can give you a lot of insight as to what potentially you might be getting involved in. If you're meeting someone and they have children from a previous relationship, looking at how they treat those children is a really good indicator of how they potentially might treat any children that you have with them too. Which means if he has several kids or she has kids, her kids aren't with her, she's not, you know, you don't feel like she's a good mom, you know, whatever, you don't feel like he's a good dad. When they talk about it, it's always the other person. Oh, she won't let me do this. She won't let me do that. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Guys, listen, it could be you. You know, I don't regret being at my age without children, to be honest with you, because the offers that have been on the table were completely ridiculous. And that's why I rejected them. Because I looked at these folks that I was dating or whatever and thought to myself, I don't think you're suitable really for this. You know what I mean? Like, I can't see this being a long-term thing. And because I have confidence, you know, I don't also want my quality of life to decrease. And I think that if we, both men and women, started associating some worth with our bodies, with our seed, you know, with our time, with our emotions, we wouldn't get involved in half of these relationships that we're engaging in. You know, some people feel like, you know, they're thirsty because they haven't had a relationship in a long time and they miss intimacy. They miss, you know, sexual intercourse and all that stuff. So, okay, well, I'll just hook up with him because he's here, or I'll just hook up with her in the meantime because she's around. Okay. These relationships lead to the situation coming. you know. And I also don't think that it's outlandish for you to be able to talk to your partner about the situation. So when you guys do decide that you're going to be intimate, the conversation should go something about, okay, well, how do you feel about us having children if that should arise? What's our long-term plans? You know, having these conversations, because then you are preparing yourself for, okay, yes, we're moving forward, or no, we're not. If you still want to have relations, I mean, I just veto it, really, because I don't see the point. I feel like the cons of getting involved with you sexually when there's no longevity in the situation is like totally useless, in my opinion. So I won't involve in that kind of thing. If I know a person, I don't like the person, we don't have any future, the person is not responsible, you know, I would never want to have kids with them, I'm not going to sleep with them. You know, period. That's me. But if you decide, okay, well, I'm just going to be with this person in the interim, then you need to take precautions. Okay, birth control, protection, you know, abstinence, or other forms to prevent it from going down, guys. Because when that child comes out, is not the time to start trying to work it all out. Okay, if you're someone you don't believe in abortions and stuff like that, then you need to be doing birth control or something like that. Okay, and men and women both equally need to be responsible for their bodies. They need to have autonomy over their bodies. Women, don't trust what these folks are telling you. Okay, unless the situation is what you need it to be. You know, the person's expressed commitment, the person is, you know, ready and willing to have a family with you or be a parent or whatever, you guys are on the same page, you know. But other than that, he or she is just telling you what they want to tell you to butter you up. An adult situation comes as a result of this, and you're going to see that, damn, you know. And I remember one time, I got another story for you guys. What's up, Michelle? Big shout outs. Nikki's in the building. Star Washington, I see you guys. Make sure if you're here and you're in the chat room, make your presence be known. Tonight, I'm just talking to my people. You know, I'm just sending out another pertinent message. You know, you don't have to be sexually promiscuous. Okay, you don't have to be having sex with everybody that turns you on, or, you know, whatever. These casual situations are leading to disastrous outcomes for our community. Right now, we have a lot of children that are not being raised well because one or both of the parents don't even want them. Okay, one or both of the parents are not interested in the upbringing of the child and, you know, their welfare and nurturing and all the things that go into parenting. And it becomes society's problem, okay? Because these folks grow up and they have a lot of emotional problems and they're dysfunctional, and sometimes they're angry, and then they become, you know, the peers to your daughter, your son, you know, your nephew, your grandson, and it's like, oh no, you know. And I think attacking it at the root is the way to go. You know, I'm kind of from an era a bit where parents actually took time and raised their kids. In my case, people actually like my mother actually wanted me, was trying for me. When I came along, she was ready to be a mother, eager to be a mother, you know. And one time, you know, I asked my mom, which was totally profound. I said, Mom, you know, what's your like life's desire? Like what was, you know, what is the big thing you wanted to do? And she said, become a mother, you know, and you're my dream come true. You know, that's what she told me. So that's the kind of environment I'm coming from. So I was looked after, I was cared for, I was loved, I was invested in because my parents wanted me. You know, if a child is not wanted by one or both of the parents, You're already putting them on a terrible path. And that's something else we need to talk about. You know, are you suitable to parent? Are you ready to parent? You know, maybe the situation has come, but maybe you should take, an aerial view at that situation and ask yourself, am I suited to do this? You know, do I want this child? Were you just trying to have the child because you were trying to bag the man? Ladies, was she the freak of the week or the one night stand? Now she's pregnant. You know, look at this thing, because it's a life. It's a life. It's a human being. And if you don't do well, which we're not doing great, we're not doing great with our young people. Guys, we're not. They grow up and they wreak havoc on society because of their pain and their confusion and all of that. It'll be so much better for you to be selective with the situations you're getting involved in and have children perhaps when you're ready, you're in a situation, you find a nice partner. And I know that, again, the quality out there is not a lot. Loads of women, loads of men, not high quality. Okay. I'm not talking Kevin Samuels, high valuable man. I'm talking about an intelligent, mature individual to do life with. Those folks are not, in abundance. Sorry, they're just not. But it will be well worth your time. Yes, it will be well worth your time screening out and rejecting folks that are not suitable for long-term relationships or parenting. If we have the perspective that the folks that we become intimate with, if we actually looked at them and thought, can this be my husband or wife? Would I want to have children with them? I bet y'all probably 85% of y'all would be like, I'm not even about to start with this person that I'm checking out, because I wouldn't want to marry them and I wouldn't want to have kids with them. But people are being cheap because they want to have the fun, they want to have the sex, they want to get the pleasure. But if anything else comes from that, apart from the occasion, they don't want to take responsibility. What's up, guys? What do you think about the topic tonight? Daniel says it starts in the family: energy, attention, and space. Every child born is ancestor returning. Respect has to be on. What's up, Tony Africa? Big shout out to the family. And I see, living here in Ghana, the dynamics are a little bit different here, because definitely I'd say the men frolic and date around, and they have sexual relationships with women. But I think the perspective of having children is different here, because having out of wedlock children is not rampant here on the continent the way that it is in the West. People go out and have their fun, but when it comes down to that, they understand, okay, having the child is another level of responsibility. This whole have my child and just discard my child, because bloodlines are big here, and traditions and tribes and family and all that. So it's like having a child that you don't have access to, you don't have any say how the child's being raised. That's your blood. You're totally disconnected. It's like a taboo here. Nobody really wants to do that. It does happen, but not in the frequency that's happening in the West, because people literally are not thinking about it at all. They literally hook up and then think about everything in the aftermath. And it's very destructive to our culture. So I would say that, again, I realize that younger viewers are coming to the platform. Listen, I know society has this hypersexualized outlook on the world. And maybe what I'm saying, you feel like it's old-fashioned. But I'm here to tell you, I live a very robust and, might I say, luxurious life. Okay? World traveler, very little drama, very little stress. I do my thing, you know, and that is the result of good decision making. Okay. I've been presented with a lot of erroneous offers. I could have taken them. And then I'll be struggle life for like many of the people I know. But I looked at the situation, looked at it like a contract, looked at it like, a deal or something like that, business deal. And looked at it and thought, am I going to benefit from this situation? Or is this going to be, is this going to be like a deficit kind of situation? And when I looked at it like that, and again, I don't think that it's too much to ask someone who you're going to be getting intimate with. And this is for both of you guys, ladies and men. Okay. I don't think that it's so far-fetched for you to ask that person to define the situation. Okay. So you ask them, hey, okay, what are your intentions? If they're serious about you, ladies, if a man's serious about you, he wouldn't be adverse to marrying you or having a family or having kids because he has good intentions. He has intentions of having a long-term thing with you or building a future or building a family. If he gets all defensive and he gets angry and he's like, oh, why are you always talking about that? I ain't ready to settle down. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing my thing. Run. Because guess what? That's his attitude. And even if a situation comes up, it's not going to change. And in some cases, men will take care of their kids because maybe it's their only child or, they're being responsible, but they will resent you and they might even resent the child because they didn't want it and it wasn't planned. I'm telling you, you can circumvent a lifetime of drama by making good decisions. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, unfortunately, we're living in a low quality society, which means probably a lot of the people you encounter are going to be low quality. They're not going to tick the boxes. They're not going to be the caliber that you need. They're not going to be serious. They're not going to be willing to give you, some kind of perspective, understanding of what they want out this situation. So be ready to reject folks and tell them, hey, I'm sorry. Just like my story again, and the killer the guy was hot. Let me be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. Because when Monica seen him, she was like, girl, who is that? Oh, he looked good. He was fine. He was tall. He was thick. He's just what I like. But when I assess the situation, I'm like, okay, this is not a major deal for me. So I had to reject. I had to reject it. But I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that than find myself in the struggle life. Okay? Struggle life is a choice. Did y'all hear me? If anybody heard me, let me see a number 3. Struggle life is a choice. Okay? Your choices can produce a good life or they can produce struggle life depending on what you decide to take. And when you look at a situation and you deduce that, ooh, this is not going to work out. And you either A, walk away, save yourself, or B, engage anyway. Most folks, when they get into crazy situations, the first thing out of their mouth says, I knew I should have did this, and I saw the red signs, and my friends told me, and they like to say love is blind, but in reality, you just didn't want to obey because you had the feeling. You had the gut feeling. You saw some questionable things. Okay, you had an interaction with them or a conversation that made you wonder if what you were doing was right. But a lot of times, again, because people have already started the physical relationships with people they're not compatible with and not suited for, they continue these toxic relationships. And it results in struggle life. Struggle life is a choice, guys. Okay? You don't have to take the pitfalls of everybody around you. If you learn from people around you, you'll say, oh, yeah, no. At this point, any ladies who are single without kids, you see the epidemic of the single mothers, right? You see how they're being unfortunately disrespected and everything like that. They get a bad rap and everything like that. Because, in my opinion, the men are just as responsible as the mothers for these situations. Because obviously, either they agreed to have a child that they're no longer involved in taking care of, or they were having, you know, casual sexual relationships with people that they weren't prepared to, have children and all this stuff. So the men are just as responsible for this single mother thing as the women are. There are some women that make it difficult for the men to be a part of the children's lives, but the truth is a lot of the men just don't want to be a part of the children's lives. And that's just the truth of it. I personally know ladies who are single mothers, and the fathers don't make any efforts whatsoever. They'll make the story that, oh, these women won't let us be great, but that's not the truth. So prevention is better than cure, guys. It's your body. It's your body. I encourage you to associate some worth with your body. Men, there are women out here, they want to bang you. They want your body. Okay, they don't really like you. They're not going to be serious with you. Okay, they just want to hook up. Beware of them too. Okay, a lot of folks out here wanting to use other folks for whatever purpose they want to do. But again, you must have autonomy over your body. You must look at the situation and determine, yes, I want to go forward, or no, I don't. Yes, this is going to be a benefit for me, or no, it's not. In the worst case scenario, what's going to happen? And again, in my case, I'm old enough to say, you know what? The relationship doesn't look favorable. This partner doesn't look favorable. I'm not even going to enter in. Okay, I don't even want to taste it. I don't even want to start having this relationship. I don't even want to get exposed to you, because I know that at the end of the day, it's not going to work out. Some situations like that, for instance, here on the continent, is obviously the folks that want to travel, the guys that want to live abroad. If they express that to me, I know right then and there that, yeah, okay, I don't even need to entertain this guy, because we're going opposite directions. No amount of romance and, stuff like that is going to change. At the end of the day, this person wants to live outside of Ghana, and I want to live here in Ghana. This is an example. Or for others of you, maybe you want children. You don't have children. The person you're dating has, several children in other relationships. They tell you, I don't want to have any kids. Getting involved with them doesn't make sense. The problem that you choose to ignore is going to present itself again in the future. It may keep coming up. It could be the breakage of the relationship because you ignored it in the beginning, thinking that this person is going to change. Let me just give you a pro tip. If you are over, I'd say probably, and I'm being generous. I'd say if you're probably over the age of 25, a lot of people don't change. Okay, you can't, certainly once you get into your late 30s, 40s, you can't be functioning off potential, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be like, oh yeah, he'll be the bomb if he just lose 20 pounds, or if he does this or that, or if she does this and that, then she would just be perfect. No, you need to be able to take that raw individual and assess yay or nay. Because more realistically, people don't improve during the course of relationships, okay? They actually depreciate, just like cars on the car lot, okay? You get older, the men lose their hair to get pot bellies. The ladies might, get a little tummy on them. They give childbirth, their body changes. We get older. All of this is the reality of relationships, okay? So when you're getting into relationships, you need to understand, okay, my mom told me when I was preparing to get married, she asked me if I loved my husband the way that he was. She said if he never got a day better than where he is right now in his life. How do you feel about it? And at that time, I said, yeah, I love him. You know, the way he is, I'm ready to do this. She said, okay. That's the advice I'd like to pass on to you guys. When you're getting with these folks and you're beginning relationships with them, or maybe you're entering into marriage, look at this person and say, you know, if this person never appreciated basically a day in his or her life, I still would love him. I still would ride with him, you know, because these folks getting into relationships with all these conditions in their mind. Okay, I'm going to upgrade her. I'm going to upgrade him. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You know, some things are definitely surface. You know, maybe you want to, you know, pick out his clothes or clean up his house a little bit, or, you know, maybe you guys start traveling together. These are minor things that are very, you know, probably easy to enact. But I'm talking about character things. You know, I'm talking about substantial things. You know, maybe you're really big into politics and this guy is like on the other side. You're a Republican, he's a Democrat or something like that. You know, you want kids, he doesn't want kids. You want to get married, he doesn't want to get married. You know, getting involved in these relationships when these people have expressed that they don't have the same liking that you do is unwise. And we're bringing kids into this madness over and over and over again. And I'm so tired of my peers for just being irresponsible. You know, I know sometimes taking the long road is longer. You know, it's longer, but it's really better. It's so much better than getting involved with the toxic partner. Because, I mean, when I think about the headaches of some of the situations I could have been in, I'm just like, bruh, I'm happy. Like, I might be on my own right now, but then again, I live a really good life and it's worth it. Like, I don't want the drama, you know? So a big shout out to the African Superstar family. This was what was on my mind today. I've been having just so many thoughts lately regarding to like our community and wondering why, you know, we just don't make better decisions. We know that there's so many campaigns aimed against destroying our people. And in many ways, we are complicit. You know, do not prospectively bring your child up in a single family home if you can prevent it. And you can't. You can't. There are some situations that you can't control. Let's say you get married, you give birth during the course of your marriage, you get divorced, or your spouse dies, you know, or maybe they relocate, they get a great opportunity, they move out the country, move across the country, something like that. There are situations that can produce, you know, the single family home, but in many cases, some of these situations could be eliminated. You know, if we were being more strategic about building families and selecting suitable partners to build our lives with and be parents to children, you know. And for the ladies out there, listen, trying to get pregnant for a man to lock him down is the oldest trick in the book. It may have worked in previous generations where men might be required to marry you, or, you know, it's socially unacceptable to have this child out of wedlock. That ain't the day and age we live in, fam. And having a baby by him is not going to lock him in. Same thing for some of you guys that try to lock women in. That goes on too. You think, okay, I just need to knock her up. She'll calm down. You know, I just need it. Once she has my baby, she's going to be stuck to me. If you guys don't have the consensus before the situation arises about what you would do in that situation, if you want that situation, and it comes on and the consensus is not there, the baby's not going to patch it up. The baby's not a plaster or a Band-Aid, okay? Not going to patch up all your crazy relationship problems. Okay? Ideally, your child is supposed to be an extension of love. It's supposed to be the product of your union with someone of your selection. Okay? All this stuff that we're doing modern day is not that definition, and it shows. And it's creating a multitude of dysfunctional generation, because these folks are not raised well. They're not equipped, nor do they have the desire to be families, parents and partners and all the things that mature adults are supposed to be, how they're supposed to function in society. So that's my thoughts on the topic. For those of you that are going to come and see the playback, make sure you leave in the comments what you think about this topic. And most importantly, implement the knowledge that you guys know. Okay? You see what's happening around us. Please do not make yourself a statistic by falling into the same pitfalls when it's totally preventable. Casual sex, casual intimate relationships. Refrain. A moment of pleasure can produce a lifetime of pain. 10 years in, when you're dealing with that baby mama and baby daddy drama, you're not going to remember the night that you guys hooked up and how it was great and, you had a time of your life. You're not. You're going to be worried about this and that. And man, I can't believe I'm still going through. Yes. Trust me. So anyway, big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thanks to everybody who came for the live stream. Make sure you guys have liked the stream. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, please make sure you do. And I will see you guys all again very soon. If you, again, are intending to vote for my category, please make sure you get your votes in. The votes are ending on the 30th of April. So we only have a few more days. Yeah, we got 6 days more to get our votes in. Okay, family? All right. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.